Sematary was released in 1989, directed by Mary Lambert, most well known for her music videos, and based on the 1983 Stephen King novel. The movie was a massive hit. Join me and my co-host from the King Street Cinema podcast, James Rowe, as we analyse this 1989 classic. Welcome to Beyond Graves and Stars, the horror and sci-fi movie podcast. It's been 50 years since the release of Carrie, the first adaptation of a Stephen King novel. Join me, Andy, and a different guest each episode as we take a look at many of the movies based on King's work.
What is this place? I brought you here to bury Alan's cat.
Daddy, is church all right?
Why, Judd? I have no reasons.
James, he got hit by a car and you and Mr. Crandall buried him in the pet cemetery.
What did we do tonight, Judd? What we did, Lois, was a secret.
May the Lord bless you and keep you.
Has anyone ever buried a person up there?
May the Lord make his face to shine upon you.
You're thinking thoughts best not thought of.
Daddy's gonna do something really bad.
You're thinking of putting him up there. Don't deny the thought hadn't crossed your mind. Come back to me, Gage. Come back to us.
Paramount Pictures presents Stephen King's all-time best-selling tale of horror, Pet Sematary.
Thank you for joining me, James.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm okay.
Good. Stephen King adaptations. You chose this one.
Yeah.
Just before we start, you don't know if the mic will pick it up, but it's very rainy and it sounds very horror filmy.
Yeah, it's crazy rainy today and windy. And when you're out in the wind and the rain, it's not nice.
Yes, but it does put us in the mood to talk horror.
So
Pet Sematary. Now, I did come go to you and say, pick a Stephen King adaptation. Why this one?
Oh, well, probably because I like this one. But that aside, and I do like this one, and there are others I like, but that aside, this is probably the second Stephen King film or adaptation, whatever, that I saw. Pretty sure it was probably the first one, and then this one. I saw it very young. I reckon about 11 or 12 I was when I saw this.
Yeah, because
yeah.
This would have come out when you were 8?
Yeah, something
maybe
like that,
7.
Yeah. I remember the posters for it. I remember it being, advertised in the video shop loads, and I'm sure other people had talked about it. Stephen King was a name, obviously. Yeah. You couldn't not know who Stephen King was if you were even vaguely interested in horror or fantasy.
Yeah, especially in the early 90s.
Early 90s everywhere. Yeah. There was just one after the other coming out.
Yeah, I mean, this was released in 89, but we wouldn't have seen this until... it was it was an 18 certificate, and I believe it is. The copy I've got is still 18.
Yeah, and I guess if you're going to have certification, makes sense. It is very gory, and some of the subject stuff is quite heavy.
Yeah, definitely, and children involved as well, which is
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
The kind of trauma that the family grief stuff, though not played extremely heavily in this film, is there. That's some serious. That's not child friendly.
No, definitely not. Did you want to give us a quick summary of the plot?
Yeah, sure.
I know you know the film pretty well.
Yeah, I've seen it many times. I've never read the book. I make that point. So if there's anyone listening who knows both and wants to hear a comparison, you're not going to get it from me. No, because I sadly have not read the book.
This is a movie podcast, so. We discussed them on the merit of it as a movie.
Exactly.
But
I have no reference.
Yeah. I have started the book many years ago,
okay.
And I was working at a different pub. Things were busy, and I started reading it, and then just got too stressful. And I probably didn't read for another year after that.
Okay.
So, but I have started it, and what I read of it was pretty
pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right. Well, yeah. So we have a family. I think they're the Creeds. So we have, mum, dad, 2 kids, both young. Little girl, can't remember how old, maybe about 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Little boy, only 2 years old. They moved to this little, it's got to be a village really, right?
Yeah.
Little town village in Maine, United States, from Chicago, from the big windy city. So they're looking for, smaller, more quiet living, that kind of thing. The father's a doctor, so he's going to be he's now the new local doctor in town kind of thing. And but where they live, where their lovely little house is on a major busy road where big trucks constantly go by pretty much all day and night. So they meet a neighbour who tells them the story of the road and how many deaths by pets have died on that road, and how they end up getting buried in a local pet cemetery.
Yeah. Spelt wrong. But yeah, so that's kind of like the setup, and then you learn more about another cemetery that exists further beyond the pet cemetery, where if you so are inclined to bring back something that you love that is dead, you can. Yeah. And early on in the film, who I thought was going to be the protagonist, Church the cat, Winston Churchill.
Oh, sorry, I forgot that member of the family. Sorry, they have a cat as well.
He's called Winston Churchill, but they call him Church.
Yes.
While the mother and 2 kids are away visiting the family,
it's Thanksgiving.
That side of the family. There's a really cool bit where you see the daughter take down a Halloween decoration and put it up for Thanksgiving one, so we know instead of flashing up the dates. I quite like that. It's a bit cheesy, but I also like it. So they go to see the mother's parents. The father stays at home. There's been a fallout. It doesn't say why. I think the main reason they're falling out is the plot device, so that he's at home on his own. Yeah. And then for a bit of drama later on.
So like I said, don't know the book. Don't know. I'm sure there's more backstory with all this kind of stuff. There is family conflict. I have no idea why. Like I say, it's not said anyway. There's no even kind of vague implications at all. But you get the idea that the father, at least, of the mother, who's I should call her Rachel, played by Denise Crosby of Star Trek fame. Generations, not the original.
Many will say superior, but never is recognised as the original.
True, very true. Her family, her dad seems to have quite a big problem with her marrying this doctor.
Ruddy hates it.
Yeah, I forget he's called Lewis. So Lewis Creed.
Yeah.
I've thought about it a little bit over the years. Why? My mind always wants to go to things that I hope it really isn't. Ooh. But because her name is Goldman, and clearly her family is Jewish. And I don't want to think that Stephen King's writing, he doesn't like the fact that she married a non-Jew. That's where my mind goes.
I honestly think there might be, but I generally think the main reason is so to get him separated.
I mean, it's a good. That's a fine.
No, and Stephen King though. Yeah, you're right.
that's the thing that I go. Oh no, is it that? Yeah. But in this film, there is none of that. There is none of that. There's no obvious blatant anti-Semitism.
They do kind of. Try to make up and stuff in it as well.
They do, that's right, of course. And that's very true.
And it does show actually that they want to make up. That's the main thing. Yeah. Even though,
well, in this film, of course, that's what I'm saying. In this film, we don't get anything that is in any kind of way removing us from the central theme of the film, which is horror. Okay, this is not a family drama. This is not a political movie. This is not anything other than. This is about the fact that when something you love dies, what do? Do you just allow to grieve, or do you take your loved one to the cemetery beyond Pet Sematary to be brought back?
Yeah. So while they're away, Lewis, the father, finds... Well, Judd, the older guy, tells him that Church has been found.
Yes.
deceased, and there's a horrible first shot when you see the dead cat.
Yes.
And I didn't like that bit, but it adds to it. See a dead animal on screen, I don't like it, especially a lovable creepy cat.
Yes.
Church, and they decide, for the sake of the daughter, who they don't think is ready to learn about death yet, which I think is strange.
I agree. Now that it's strange. Now I've always felt that the neighbour, who is played by the great Fred Gwynne.
Yes, Herman Munster, with one of the best on-screen voices ever.
Absolutely. Well, in this film especially, because he's doing the old New England accent, which is famous in the state of Maine, which I'm sure not too many people do have anymore. But you always think of it like, that it's what you think of, or it's what I think of when I think of like the Pilgrims coming over to America from from England. That's how they would have sounded. And I'm not going to do the accent because I'll just butcher it. But it's you know it the instant you hear it, and it's just a very strange American accent that just sounds like it's from the past, because it is. It's the old English accent kind of thing.
But he's also got the elements you can tell it's Herman Munster as well,
sure.
which I love.
Oh yeah, I mean he's a great actor, but he does kind of play the same kind of thing. I mean, even when you see him in My Cousin Vinny, where he plays the judge, the mean judge, you can still see Herman Munster in him.
But I think that's one of the reasons I love this character, because I grew up watching that show a lot, and it's comforting for me. And I think for a lot of the audience at this time, I mean, this came out about 23 years after the series finished. So a lot of people then even would have grown up with it. So he is that. Yeah, it's perfect casting.
Absolutely. Now that was a thing that the producers were not too sure if he was the right choice to make, because people would just sort of get taken by that. They would they would take away the horror, because this isn't a comedy in any stretch, right? This is, I might mention later how I do find some of it funny unintentionally because of how over the top it is. But this is clearly meant to play straight. This is not a funny film to be a funny film in any kind of way. So with him being known for being playing in a funny show, they weren't too sure if it was going to work. But it does. It does work, absolutely. Of course it does, because he's a great actor. Anyway, going back to the initial thing of the cat's dead, it is Judd, that's his name, the neighbour's name, Judd. He says that he's the one that pretty much, in a way, convinces Lewis, we should take church to the pet cemetery because your daughter's probably not ready. It has a feel of, is he like evil in a way? Like, is he like steering Lewis into a position where he's the domino effect, where you're going to lead into bad things in your life happening, like evil. If you go down this road of burying the cat, just evil's going to be in your life, and it's almost like he's making that happen. Yeah, and until this watch, that was a big thing for me. I was like, is he? And I imagine in the book he is more so. But there's a few things in this, like before all this happens, they're talking. He's talking to the family, and he says to the mum, they have to learn about Death Someday. Yes. And she just says, so someday soon, or something like that. And she just says, why? Yes. And I think that bit's put in so that you feel the guilt. Not the guilt, but adds to his concern. Sure. I mean, well, he has experience, of course, in this. He knows. I mean, but this is my problem with how we're supposed to read him as a character at this point, because we know that he has experience of what is going to happen if we put church in the pet cemetery. Through several flashbacks, his own dog, Spot, it shows that. And then later on in the movie, I mean, I've said before, this is spoiler heavy, it has happened with a human before. Yes. And it goes badly. Terribly, of course. So, so that we already have all that, which we learn a little bit later on. I mean, so you have, he's already had that. So the character, he knows all this, and yet he's still leading the dad in this direction. He does kind of try to, like, say, explain why, like, wanting to think that that the girl's not, the girl's not ready. The little girl's not ready for learning about death. The mother is obviously has her problems with, which we also learn about why, with her own sister growing up and having to look after her sister who was had extreme physical problems and was left to look after by her parents, who are clearly awful people by the sounds of things, as parents at that point in her life, when she was that age. I mean, to leave a child, because she was as well a child at the time, to look after a relative or anyone who's in that kind of condition is cruel.
Should we talk about Zelda then? The sister, through flashbacks, the sister of Rachel.
Yes.
When she was younger, she was left to look after her ill. Best way to describe her is ill.
I think she does. I'm sure she does say. This is annoying that I haven't got it written down, but what she had, the actual condition that she had, but extremely sick to the point of the body is twisted. She's in constant physical pain,
and it does say
it's a regression thing. So it's not like it's just something that stays the same. It gets worse and worse and worse as time goes on.
And they do say that it would have affected her mind as well. Her
sanity. Completely, yes.
And
that,
scary images in this is the word.
Absolutely. This is some terrifying stuff.
One of the most memorable things about the movie. Zelda, who was played by a bloke.
Played by a man. The filmmakers said that it would be better if it was played by a man, because it would give the physical features would be more creepy and distortion. Would look less, because obviously what we're doing is we're trying to move away from the idea of a human ultimately, and if the human is female, make the actor be male. Yes, to play the female, so it look even less female.
And it's one of those things I think that I had read before, but when watching it, never really noticed that it was a and so it works. I'd say.
Absolutely works.
The makeup and stuff's great. All the makeup.
And special effects makeup in this is great. It's top notch stuff.
And it's 89. This is a cinematic film. Some things of it do feel a little cheap and TV, but not the visuals, not the practical effects. One thing we haven't mentioned actually is when he first comes to the town, he's on the first day at work. There's a death, isn't there?
There is,
and so someone dies. It is an accident on the road? Isn't
it? I'm not sure if it's on the set. This is the thing. The film moves at quite a quick pace with
a lot of stuff. Get through, isn't there?
Yeah, because it's only I think 100-minute film, which is top end of the correct length of the movie. But there's lots in it, in there. And I'm not saying this is as a bad thing. There's lots in there. I like this, especially in horror films, that we don't get all the little bits and pieces. It's just stuff.
There's so much in this. I can see it could be a miniseries.
Oh, absolutely.
But for a cinematic movie, this is a great Friday night.
Yeah, absolutely. It works really well. So this guy, his name is Victor Pascal. Is a very important character in the film as a ghost. Comes back in the film as a ghost. So he dies. Probably on a part of the road that's not where they live, but it's in the town. So this road, I'm sure, is miles long. Right, so horrible accident. He's bloody. It looks
brain coming out
it's proper revolting stuff. And straight away he is interacting with the Doctor in a way that seems supernatural, even before he's a ghost. Like he sort of comes back to life for a second to say some things that don't make any sense to the Doctor, just to get him to say basically a warning type thing, and sort of premonition, shall we say, and then dies. And then throughout the film comes back again as a character that I have to say is a bit uncertain. Is he helping them, or is he as well steering them into places of evil? Because he does at the end of the movie bring Rachel back to a place that brings her demise, and he didn't have to do that.
I think with him it's in good intention. I get that, but I think that's the way the film. They want the movie likeable, so they want it to appear that these characters are trying to help. But then, like you say, it's your afterthought. They must have known.
I think so this is written by Stephen King. Like the screenplay is written by Stephen King, so he's not writing something that is unintentional away from his original story. Right. So I think that what's playing out physically we're not understanding necessarily, because it's internal dialogue type stuff. And what I think is happening is that it's a way of saying that no good deed goes unpunished in a way. So it's a sort of like they want to do good, but evil is so strong that everything that seems good is still going to end up bad. And that's what I think is happening. So it's not intentional that they want to lead them into bad places, but they're going to anyway because the evil is just too much.
Yeah, the evil is drawing it, and also there's that little bit of element of history repeats itself.
Yeah,
and
cycles. Yeah, that kind of thing. Yeah, it's going to happen.
It's almost like
inevitability.
And with the Judd character, it's almost like he wants it to work this time, as in it failed last time. He wants it to work this time. But it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. So all the same horrors happen again.
The last sort of half hour of this is quite intense.
Yeah.
But so we won't dwell too much on the end because if it is spoiler heavy, and we will mention it if we need to. But it is another one of these. You either know what happened at the very end, or we want you to see it.
Sure.
But you mentioned there's some intentional things in it that make you laugh.
Yes.
One thing that's not the fault because this was made before. At the end of the movie, with her trying to get back, it reminds me of the mum from Home Alone so much that I was a bit like, it's almost like Home Alone was spoofing this.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure they weren't, but
it happens a lot in films, and it's just the way it's filmed in her.
Yes,
I just remind me of it, and I'm one of these. I love, hence I do this podcast, horror movie, B movies and stuff like that. And sometimes the unintentional stuff isn't funny because of bad special effects or bad. It is just coincidences, and it reminds you of things.
Yeah.
And when something like that makes me chuckle in the film, I'm not laughing at the film. I'm laughing at the scenario. So I enjoy laughing at that more rather than if there was a bad bit of acting or a bad bit of.
I'm going to say straight up that the actor Lewis Dale something.
He's a TV movie actor.
He is a TV actor. Yeah. I mean, he is definitely the worst part of this film.
I googled. I was like, he's got to have been in Melrose Place. But just a lot of TV movies and
the acting
Americans. Shows that I wouldn't have seen. Yeah, there is. He does do a big moment at one
which point. Is again, I not laugh out loud, but in my head I'm like, that's hilarious, isn't it? Isn't that supposed to be funny?
Well, the death of Gage, which must have been really difficult for them, and it would have been trouble with the censors having a 2-year-old, essentially run over.
I've got to tell the story, a quick one, of as a kid watching this, my little 11-year-old brain could not accept that they'd killed the kid.
Really?
I was like, no, he's all right. It's just like, there's no way. You can't kill a little kid in a film. You can't do it.
Yeah.
It took me ages. It took me to him, digging him up again to go, okay, he actually is dead. It was so sort of just completely at that point in my life the most surreal thing. That I'd ever seen in a movie, even though it's not surreal at all. It's a tragic thing that sadly does happen in real life.
Almost as if you would be too young to be watching.
Exactly.
So that and Zelda were the two things that stuck in my mind from watching it when I was young.
Right. And, well, certainly. But him coming back is still, as far as I'm concerned, some of the most scary horror stuff in a movie ever. Still to this day.
After they've been run over, Lewis is distraught.
Obviously.
So he goes through and brings him back in the same way as Church, and he's scary when he's back, isn't he?
He's one of the most scariest horror villains there's ever been.
Yet still, the way it's shot is a bit chucky.
Yeah,
which I like.
Well, how could it not be?
Exactly, though, same size,
tiny,
and lots of uses of knives.
Uses of knives.
Which
he uses that scalpel, which is important. That's a very
the whole being a doctor thing does a lot for the plot.
Yeah,
gets them to the town. Yeah. Reasons why there's weapons, really.
Sure.
And
but he could have found something else.
Yeah.
I mean, they live in rural place. I mean, okay, scalpels are small. He's small, so that makes sense. But I think there's more to it than that. I think it's personal.
Yeah. And then also the whole doctor thing is how the king gets the ghost character involved, because that's how they meet.
Yes.
So there's a lot. He's clever in it for King. That King's always clever, and it's one of those. Did you know? I'll just add it that when he wrote this, he was given the idea from he moved to do some writing to a rural the same place, and they lived by this road
Yeah.
And the kid's cat died.
Right. Yeah. Well,
and the story sort of grew from there. So it's sort of, it's not based on a true story.
No,
but
I did know that.
That's but because of this, and because it was so personal to him, he didn't want to publish it at first.
Yeah, that's right.
And there was all this rumour about, is it too dark? And it wasn't that. It was just because it was too personal to him. And it got published literally to a contract with whatever publisher it was needed another book. Yeah. So 5 years after he wrote it, he gave them this. And it was huge.
Yeah.
And I was quite, knowing that, I'm pleased that he was involved.
Yeah.
He done, the screenplay was him. And on the special features on the Blu-ray, there's little things shot at the time of him talking through.
Yeah.
And so I think he came to terms with it and realised, this is a good one.
Well, absolutely. I mean, he's on set. He's in the film. He plays a priest. So there's a funeral for a character we haven't mentioned. The sort of housekeeper or nanny, Missy, who is again local, lived in the town all her life, has that strong New England accent, has seemingly stomach cancer that she doesn't ever want to get seen to. Yeah. I think again there's something else, there's a lot going on there, which is not properly explained in any kind of way in the film, and she commits suicide, and that's why she has a funeral for her.
And that's the reason.
But this is before any supernatural stuff is happen, like that we can visually see happening. Yeah. I think the supernatural stuff is just there always, obviously.
Yeah, and I think that's part of it all. And,
but gets stronger obviously the further the film moves on.
Yeah, and it builds really well.
Yes, it does. It, like I say, it's a 100-minute movie. It works at a correct pace. You get everything you need in order to tell this kind of story. Well enough that you go, that was entertaining, that was good fun, and it was also very scary.
Just obviously we both enjoyed this film, but I've been criticised for not being a negative Nigel enough. So was there any other parts of it that unintentionally made you laugh?
Oh, absolutely. I was going to mention that. Right. So at the funeral for Gage, that is hilarious. Dad comes up. He's all like, "It's all your fault," to Lewis.
Oh, the
fight. The coffin goes flying.
Yeah.
The body almost. He's like, "No!" Yeah, like with the you can sort of half see the boy's body. It's again not meant to be funny, but it's so melodramatic and TV-ish. It's just funny. Yeah, it's just funny.
So there's a few moments like, but that's the one that stood out for me.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the death of Gage, just the way it's.
Oh yeah, I guess. So.
And then it goes straight to them looking through photos of him, which to me feels very,
Oh yeah, there was a little. See, thankfully not so much of that.
Yeah, there are bits,
but there are certainly bits which I guess you do need, because you do need to say, hey, look, he he's grieving.
Yeah,
but that's a thing that grieving people do. Obviously, is look through. It's things that people do when they're not grieving, but it's certainly something that they'll do if they hadn't done it in a long time.
Yeah.
Is look through old photos of loved ones that they've just lost. Right, so that's a thing. That's a very human thing.
Yeah.
Which is good, because he behaves in ways that are. I don't know. I try really hard to go. Okay, he's grieving. Understandably so. It's horrific what he's lost.
Yeah.
And by the time that we get to his wife as well, and his insanity, he's become insane.
Yeah.
Which you would do, wouldn't you? Not only with, of course, the grief would mentally make you unstable, but also now bringing back loved ones who then you've had to then kill again.
Yeah.
I mean, oh my God. But this is why, by this point, by the finale, it's so silly. It's so over the top. Mm. It's so like, but what's next kind of thing.
Yeah.
And they wrap it up nice and quickly, and it's done. But you just go. In my head, I'm like, I have no idea. I have no idea how I would react.
Yeah.
How could you?
That's the thing, because if this was played, it is played seriously.
Yes.
But there's a different kind of serious it could have been played. Mm-hmm. Then it would have been so dark.
Very modern. right?
Yeah.
So this is very much of its time. It feels completely of the moment, late 80s, early 90s, either TV or film horror stuff. This is very much it. If this was made by a director who wanted to be taken. I'm not saying directors don't want to be taken seriously. I was going to say that it's not true, but like do you know what I mean? Like they've got visions of making masterpieces, right? This would be told in a very, very long, drawn, winded, just dark, brooding. Lots of.
Can you imagine if Robert Eggers made this?
Yeah, exactly.
And you'd have the father like sitting in the nude,
in the dark for 20 minutes,
yeah.
just contemplating stuff.
Yeah.
That's what it would be like.
Yeah, and this movie is very me. It's this is one of those ones that shaped my taste in horror, if I'm honest. But it was directed by Mary Lambert.
Yes.
Who it's her third feature.
I think important as well. Nice to have a female director on this one.
And I believe. I don't know, but I believe, which I'm going to mention, the remake, which you haven't seen.
Yeah.
We were going to do this as a comparison, but time, and we both had a lot on.
Yeah.
Maybe later on this year.
I
haven't seen anything this year.
Definitely.
We could do a follow-up episode and watch it.
Yeah.
And that's a lot darker, but it also
she directed that as well, right?
No, it's a female director. She directed she directed the sequel.
That's right.
I mean, but I mean, what I'd like to do.
There's a lot of female, creativity in this movie, in this series of movies.
But she came from a music video background.
Yes.
I mean, I knew she'd done Madonna.
Yes.
She'd done
Janet Jackson as well.
Yeah. Like a Virgin, Borderline, Material Girl.
Yeah.
She'd done the Eurythmics. Loads and loads of stuff.
Yeah.
But most importantly, 2 Motley Crue videos.
I was going to say, for you, obviously the Crew.
Without You and Don't Go Away Mad, Just Go Away.
Are those good ones?
They're Motley Crue, of course they're good ones.
Are the videos good?
Without You is a really cheesy one because it's a ballad. That's quite almost Belinda Carlisle, Heaven's a Place on Earth type, but slower and more. Don't Go Away Mad, Just Go Away is a cool one because it's like them trying to be natural, like in bars and stuff.
Oh, nice.
But really cheesy, and it's like about his. Also, the title of it isn't exactly just go away, woman.
Yeah,
it's what it's but it's very 80s and very it's made in 1990, very, very just. That sort of thing, cool. And also done a Queensrÿche video as well. So she's done a lot.
Yes.
And another one I was going to mention, she's done a lot of TV stuff, TV movies. She'd done Mega Python versus Gatoroid, which I have probably seen. But there was another horror movie that I watched when I was doing my sort of challenge for Halloween, how many films I could watch.
Yeah.
The urban legend Bloody Mary.
Okay.
Which isn't great,
right, but
competent, well-made, low-budget horror. And other than this, probably most well-known for Pet Sematary 2.
Yeah.
And Halloween Town 2, which was a popular sort of. I don't know if it's Disney or Nickelodeon or something. They're big in America.
Like a kids thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And then since the last thing she'd done is a couple of Christmas movies, basically, probably made for Hallmark or something like that. But basically, she come from a music background, and then a working director.
Yeah.
This would probably be a biggest hit, but constantly working for 30 odd years, more than that.
Yes.
And I'm pleased that I can't remember much about the sequel, but we should definitely have a look at it, even if it's just to mention on another episode, opposed to doing an episode on it.
Yeah.
All I remember about it is it was Ed Furlong.
Yeah, it's got Ed Furlong in it. I know that. I don't
remember much else about it.
I remember it coming out, like seeing it in the video shop.
Yes.
But never renting it.
Yeah, and I think it's more of the same sort of thing, but with the protagonists as teenagers.
Yes. Yeah, I can see that they're teenage.
And it's got
kids.
Clancy Brown in it as well. Who's great.
He is.
So yeah. We sort of went off on one a bit there. So yeah, the finale of this film is very, very 80s horror.
Yeah.
But well done, as you say.
I think it's well done. It's extremely over the top and silly.
Yeah.
But it works with where we've got to. Because like I say, where we are by the end is insane. Like what's happened to get us here. Yeah. The character that we're following, who is Lewis, his mind is cracked. obviously, from what he's experienced and what he's done. Yeah, we're in a mental place, so it should have a mental ending.
Yeah. And the very, very end is bonkers.
Yes.
And
but inevitable.
Yeah, of
It
course.
was obviously going to happen.
And it sort of sticks with you. And at the time, especially, this is 37 years old. This would have scared the Jesus out of me.
I have a very clear memory of it finishing and being like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, not so much so was not allowed to enjoy the Ramones.
Yeah.
That's because it finishes with that climactic, scary ending, and then you get the Ramones.
Yeah, that's something you would not get in a modern horror. And then the Ramones, they wrote the song Pet Sematary for this, which have been towards the tail end of their career, surely.
Yeah, I think they broke up in 93 or 4.
Yeah.
So
and then earlier on in the film, Sheena's punk rockers played.
Yes.
But we talked about the end. Actually, one thing I didn't mention is the way the film opens with the creepy graveyard.
Yeah.
And then shots of a truck on the road.
Yeah, we're establishing our location.
And what's to come. And when you do rewatch it, you're like, oh God, It's almost like if you watch this film,
it's like going down memory lane, isn't it?
Yeah, I reckon it's probably been 10 years since I've watched this. Yeah. And when it started, and you see a truck, oh God,
that happens.
Oh God, yeah. And weirdly as well, I always remember the kid. What's his name again? I always forget it.
Gage.
Yeah.
The actor's name.
Yeah.
Michael Hughes.
Yeah, Michael Hughes. I always see him when I think about him as being older, because obviously we've seen him. We spoke about New Nightmare.
He's alumni. He's been in other movies we talked about. So which is nice.
Wes Craven's New Nightmare.
Yeah.
And I believe he was in Kindergarten Cop as well.
Was in Kindergarten Cop. It might have been other horrors though.
I think he was. Yeah.
So we should we could do all of his.
Yeah, there's a whole season of him. Get him on.
Yeah.
Get him on. I think he does still act actually.
Yeah. As far as I'm aware.
Yeah. Whereas the others you don't see him much now.
No.
Obviously, it was a few years later that we lost Gwyn.
Not many. Again, probably like 93 or 4.
Yeah, I remember well him dying.
Not long after my cousin Vinny.
Yeah,
like a year or two later.
Yeah, I remember hitting the news because
that was the last film he was in.
Yeah, my cousin. Yes, from Star Trek.
Denise Crosby.
Yes, I imagine she left Star Trek around this time to do movies, because she was in it from the start and she left.
That's right. So she was in the original series.
Yeah.
Dies. Spoilers at the end of the first series of Next Gen.
Was it the first series?
Yeah, the first series. Yeah. But she wanted to. That wasn't something that she wasn't written out. She was like, I don't want to be in the show anymore. I want to go off and do other things. I want to be in movies and that. So could you kill me off, please? And they did. So,
she was in some stuff, but other than Star Trek, I say this is what she's most well known
absolutely.
For. And she's good in it.
I remember her young in the original 48 Hours movie. Did you ever see 48 Hours?
A long time ago.
Yeah. She's in it very briefly, but memorable character.
Okay, yeah.
So that's the only one I can think of.
Yeah, I've got a copy of that. It's still sealed. I've had for about 5 years.
It's great. It's classic stuff.
Is it? Yeah. That's my Eddie Murphy laugh.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Thanks. There's a banana up my exhaust.
Suits you.
Yes. That's betrayal of the thought, trying to be funny. I should stop doing that.
What were we talking about?
Pet Sematary.
Pet Sematary. David Crosby, wasn't it? No, sorry, Denise Crosby.
Yeah. I think she's good. I think the child actors are good.
Yes.
Obviously.
The little girl is good. We haven't really mentioned her. So the daughter, the survivor of the family.
She's off at the grandparents.
Yeah, very important character because she's kind of like almost like our anchor.
Yeah.
And it's the one that's not going crazy or doesn't have past trauma yet.
Dreams of what's happening and gonna happen.
Yeah, because the Victor Pascoe ghost, he's getting involved in everyone's lives. Like he just constantly that's what's happening. She's having dreams because of him.
Do you reckon he was this interfering in people's lives when he was actually alive?
Well, maybe. I mean, I do. I tell you, there's a whole subplot going on here which doesn't really exist in the film, but there's fake. Where you're like, who is this guy? Really?
Yeah, he doesn't say. Doesn't say.
But yeah, I think he was probably a troublemaker in real life.
Yeah, but there's some horror tropes, I suppose it'd be called in this movie as well. The whole I'm gonna use the modern term opposed to what they say in it. Native American burial ground is a thing that He's used a lot in horrors. Poltergeist stands out. It was Poltergeist 2, I believe it's revealed.
Poltergeist, and of course The Shining is original. The Shining, the place, the hotel is built on one, which again is Stephen King. Yeah. So he obviously had a thing for that. Plot device.
And then there's obviously be careful what you wish for.
Yeah.
And there's a bit of Monkey's Paw in here as well. And in Monkey's Paw there's 3 wishes, and of course there's 3 wishes in this with the 3 people he wants back. And it's all elements that, it's been done before, but King makes something very original with it.
Yeah. I mean, I can't... I've on a drama level, I remember thinking of this when I was younger, but even more so as an adult, like how I really like the idea of a pet cemetery. Like, not necessarily the horror element, but just the idea of a place where sadly lots of pets die, and a place where they can all be buried. And there's something kind of, though sad, also quite beautiful about that. And the character of Judd does mention this, and I always thought, like, this is a really cool thing, and it does have it has a lot of very interesting. You could do a lot of interesting. Have a lot of interesting stories based around a pet cemetery. I think it's really interesting. Yeah. But obviously this is a horror movie, so we're not.
But it does.
It's not about drama.
Yeah, but that's there, and it's nice that they mention that, and another great thing that the Judd character does.
I'm really into the idea of in fantasy stories about people who are for whatever reason want to bring someone back from the dead. And them never being who they were when I've always loved this. This exists in a few. I don't know if King. I'm sure he's got it from somewhere else, probably someone older than him. But this idea of the reanimating of the dead because of the feeling of need for someone, but they will never be who they were.
Yeah,
and how that there is something, obviously, because it's unnatural to bring people back from the dead, that therefore this is a curse.
And obviously one of the themes of this is grief and accepting death. Is what it's saying, and there's nothing you can do.
Accepting death is the correct thing to do, and not to try and bring back people from the dead.
It fails in every film.
Every story.
There was no 80s or 90s sitcom. My Dead Husband.
It's brilliant. It's like, hey, he's even better than he was before.
Idea for sitcom. Make a note. God. That was the reveal at the end of Married with Children. Who knows? But he could have been wrong. So obviously this is one you really enjoy.
Yes.
And you still like it to this day.
I do. Very much.
While I've got you, is it your favourite King adaptation? If not, have you got any other favourites?
No, it's not. But it's third.
Oh, go on then. Top 2.
Well, it's Carrie and then The Shining in that order. Okay. Carrie is my favourite of King adaptation and The Shining.
Which version of both of those?
Well, obviously, the less known ones.
I'm not that snobby.
No, but interesting though. Some people say, really, you prefer De Palma over Kubrick, and I do generally as a director.
So I think I'd
rather De Palma.
I don't want to go there, but I think Kubrick's very hit and miss. When he was good, he was brilliant. But a lot of his films just aren't for me. I admit they're great.
I would rather a season of De Palma films at King Street, where I work, than Kubrick.
Did he do Just to Kill?
Yes.
Yeah, that's with John Lithgow, who we're going to mention.
No, John Lithgow is Raising Cain.
Oh God, yeah.
Is he in Just to Kill?
No, he isn't. But Raising Cain
is he in another one though? Is he?
He might be in Just to Kill as well.
Is he in Blowout?
He's got a small role in one, hasn't he?
But Raising Cain's where he's meant absolutely insane.
And that's the part.
Just to Kill. Wow, God, why am I? Oh, sorry, this is all because this has got nothing to do with Pet Sematary, so my brain.
Well, it has because John Lithgow played Judd in the remake.
That's okay. Well, there we go.
That's why I was good.
But Just to Kill is who's in that one?
That's Michael Caine, isn't it?
Michael Caine.
Yeah. So
that's right.
But you've not seen the remake. Everyone loves John Lithgow, so maybe
they should. Well, if they don't, they should.
Yeah. And have you a least favourite?
There are many. There are many that I don't particularly like. I don't like the Tommy Knockers. Did you ever see that one?
That was TV, wasn't it?
TV, that mini-series similar to
I don't remember much. I was talking about that when on the thinner episode of
Yeah,
the same director.
that as well I find quite boring for a movie. If we're thinking more, because that was a cinema, was it, or was that TV movie? That was cinema.
Cinema, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's probably one of my least favourites that went to cinema.
On a rewatch, I liked it a lot more than I thought. For that's all I said.
Okay.
So Lithgow, obviously Raising Cain, which I really recommend. Blowout, and it says here.
Yeah, Blowout. There we go.
I've not seen it. I didn't realise it was De Palma, but Obsession.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. But Sisters. That's a great one with our friend Margot Kidder.
Yeah.
So many, and of course Carrie. That is my favourite without doubt. Stephen King adaptation, and was the first as well. But that's not why it's my favourite.
See,
De Palma is just great.
I haven't got a favourite, but maybe doing these, I'll get one. Yeah. So thank you very much for joining me.
You're welcome.
And we'll get you back soon. I'm going to be tackling the Friday the 13th franchise alongside the Stephen King. I can get you on one of them. Not sure what one yet, but I think we've had a word about it. Yeah. And Critters 4.
Critters 4
at some point.
I'm
sort of interweaving all these because we all just do this for a bit of a laugh in our spare time because we enjoy films, but everyone's busy.
Yes.
And the Critters one's been held back because there's a guest I really want to get on, but he's a very busy man.
Yeah.
He is not only a musician, got a full-time job, a family, a writer. So it's going to be difficult, but we're going to get it, and then we can move on with that. There's no rush, is there? Come on. So thanks a lot, and hope everyone's enjoyed listening. And if you haven't seen Pet Sematary, we have spoiled the hell out of it for you. But go and watch it. And then
I don't think we spoiled it anywhere near enough. There's loads in there that we haven't mentioned.
Yeah.
It's a great movie. Definitely watch it.
And,
of course, 18.
18, yeah.
It's an 18.
I think it still is.
I'm sure it is.
The remake's 15, I believe.
Right.
But there's changes. Yeah. Yes. So this is your trigger warning. There should be a trigger warning before every episode of Only Fools and Horses.
Indeed.
So and listen to some.
Too funny.
Yeah. Listen to. And Trigger Paul is a funny face. And listen to some Ramones as well.
Oh, indeed.
And
every movie is made better.
Yeah.
For the Ramones.
And look after those pets.
Absolutely.
And while you're at it, look after your kids too.
Thank you all so much for listening. Don't forget to find us on the socials, like, follow, subscribe, share, rate, all that stuff helps. 5-star ratings really help boost the podcast to find a larger audience. I'll be back soon with a different guest to talk about more of the Stephen King movies. And also, I'll be looking at other things this year, newer releases, and carry on with some of the franchises I've already started talking about. Go back there. We've been doing this about a year now, and there's loads of stuff up there. I've done the Trancers franchise, all the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. There's loads there. So do go back and have a listen and let us know what you think. I'll always chat to everybody on the socials. Be back very soon. Thank you very much.